why isn't emotional abuse taken more seriously in the legal system? How do the courts expect women to pay $20,000 in legal fees without access to money?
Oh, that is like the saddest question, right? Because emotional abuse, I think the courts, like I know in California, um, have really this coercive control element is definitely a part of domestic violence conversations. And I think that that's a kind of a wave that, is maybe starting in California and it kind of goes across the country. So I think that it's going to change, right? And be taken. The difficulty is that it's so hard to prove, right? Because I tell people all the time, like, there are facts, right? But just because something's factual doesn't mean it's ever going to see the judge, right? Because there's this magic process that facts go through to become evidence, right? And people will say, well, I have the text messages from the girlfriend who said this. And I'm like, how are you going to get the girlfriend in court? She lives in another state. How are you going to get jurisdiction over her to get her there? Like, these are hard questions, right? So it's very difficult to prove in a court of law because of the rules of evidence, because of the procedures and stuff. It's not fair. It isn't. And having to spend I've seen people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to try to prove that with very little success. It's so nuanced that the legal system just isn't set up to handle that kind of stuff. A bruise, a smack, a red mark, something like that is shocking and it gets you. But getting on the stand and saying that they did this to me and this to me and this to me, the judge's eyes glass over and they tend to be like, he said, she said, it doesn't make it any less real. It doesn't change it from emotional abuse. It's just, how do you action that, right? Because the other side isn't just sitting there going, yeah, I did that. The other side saying, no, they did that to me. And then the judge is in this place like, I don't know what's real. Right. And how do I get at that? So it's that's the saddest stuff right there, where there is significant emotional abuse going on and there's so very little that can be done without spending a fortune.
I think that's the real pain point, is like the legal system costs money. So are there ways around it? And, I think that is the other benefit of having somebody like a coach. You can see what are your options before diving right in.